The best music for hard-working people. Get the job done with Radio.
And now your featured presentation.
Hey there, rockers! Welcome to Bands, the Good, Bad, and the Ugly with Dr. Dog on the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life. Your host, Dr. Dog, is locked and loaded. So let's do this.
We had no idea what was in store for us. But as I read this, know that it wasn't without harm.
All your pretty little lies run full circle in your eyes. There is black as night and bear no hope for me in sight. So I run from all that you've become to save face before you're done. Are you dead like me? Are you what you wanna be? Whoa! Are you taking time to clear your mind from the tragedy of life? Life, life. Are you dead like me? Well, you always bear bad news while I'm soaking up the blues. You can't be by yourself, you always trip and go seek help. So blame your troubles on everyone else, but the damage is done. Are you dead like me? Are you what you wanna be? Whoa! Are you taking time to clear your mind from the tragedy of life? Life, life. Are you dead like me? Are you dead like me? Are you what you wanna be? Whoa! Are you taking time to clear your mind from the tragedy of life? Life, life. Are you dead like me? Are you dead like me? Hey, yeah. Are you dead like me? Are you dead like me? Yeah, yeah. Are you dead like me? Are you dead like me?
The one and only Dr. Dog here, welcoming you to Bands, the good, bad, and the ugly, bringing you the ins and outs, ups and downs of band life. So let's get to it. Let's rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Rock and
The song you just heard was Dead Like Me by Entundra. My guests today are Topher, Sam, Trey, and Casey with Entundra. Guys, how are we doing tonight?
Great, man. Pretty good.
Good. Everybody's good. Everybody's healthy.
Yes, sir. All there.
Awesome. That's what the doctor likes to hear. Because if you don't, give the doctor a call. I'll give you a prescription that'll get you back on track, guaranteed. Okay. May not be from Walgreens or someplace, but I can get you a good prescription, so that's not a problem.
Works for us.
So, guys, tell us a little bit about yourselves, and tell us a bit about Entundra.
All right. Well, why don't you guys start? Trey, Sam, they would no.
You know what, guys? Let's go through the whole group because I'd like to hear from everybody if that's all right.
Well, I can start off. I've been playing bass for about 15 years. Wasn't a band. We almost went on tour, but ended up breaking up in the end and just kind of shuffling around here and there at home, doing stuff, keeping in the music spirit. And yeah, joining these guys next was awesome. Get really good opportunity, and I'm excited to see where we can go with everything.
That's great. Casey.
My name's Casey. I've been playing guitar since I think I picked one up in about 2008. And ever since I picked one up, I live, breathe, eat guitar. So that's my thing, man.
That's great. So let me ask you this, Casey, and you said you just picked it up in 2008. Was it a natural thing for you?
It was a Guitar Hero thing for me. Yeah. I remember I had Guitar Hero when I was a kid, and I was playing that, and I was like, I got to get one of these for real or whatever, and I did, and I taught myself how to play it, and
that's
the rest
phenomenal.
is history.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, you do play it well. So
thank you.
Thanks to Guitar Hero. Okay, so just put that out there. Thanks, Guitar Hero, guys. Sam, tell us.
Funny you mentioned Guitar Hero. I learned how to play the drums off a Rock Band, basically. These games are just the ticket. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, technology's key.
They say it rots your brain. I think it's helping. I've been playing the drums for a long time. I don't even know. I play guitar too, but about the same time I kind of started up, and I always loved music. I don't know what it is. Didn't know I liked it, but people told me to start playing them, and I started playing them. I really liked them. So here we are. Now it's my therapy.
Sam's a robot too.
Music is life.
Yes, this guy is. He's a grinder. I've never seen anything like it in my 20 years of doing music. This guy he does it all, and he does it fast. I don't know. He's something else. He's a prodigy, I would say.
Well, I think you guys found like the diamond in the rough is what I kind of think. Yeah. And there's nothing bad about that. It's completely 100% good. So Topher, finish it up, buddy. Tell us.
Well, I'm the lead singer, rhythm guitar player. I've been singing and writing for 20 years, professionally for the last 6 or 7. I had a former project, a band I was in before, Entundra, a couple of them actually, that just kind of, fell to the wayside due to change in life and stuff like that. Members had to go their own ways because of life, and they had other things they wanted to do. So things just kind of went to the wayside of those projects, and then this one kind of came about, and it didn't take it long for it to kind of blossom and just kind of blow up. So things have been going pretty well on our side since. So yeah, 20 years I've been singing and playing. I think I started listening to like Guns N' Roses and stuff, and that's when I started playing guitar. I think Slash was like my first initial like guitar hero, like when I was, I didn't have like Guitar Hero and all that stuff. I think I'm a few years older than these guys, so that wasn't really a thing when I was kind of doing things. Back then I actually was getting CDs through Columbia. Yep. If you remember, you send the little stamps in and you get your CDs that way. And my mom let me subscribe, and I got to get my CDs through there. I even had the Spaghetti Incident album by Guns N' Roses, which is very unheard of. It's an album full of cover songs. Mm-hmm. You guys are, and it's not the greatest album. There's some, but it was fun. But yeah, 20 years of doing that, and then I actually started out initially when I started on guitar. I got forced into playing bass in my first band in high school, and then I got stuck being the lead singer because no one else wanted to do it. But it didn't go anywhere, and after that, I got an acoustic and continued to sing and write and do covers, and here we are. So,
well, you know what? It's it shows the perseverance, number one, of all you guys, and it shows the dedication from all you guys, and it also shows the talent from all you guys, and that's something you guys should all be proud of, that you're working with a group of of individuals that share the same goals and dreams and passion for music. That's, I don't know, sometimes a rarity. I mean, my band's been together since '86, same guys. And so that's rare to have that length of time with a band and not change out any members in the band. So I know what it's like to have that bond and that camaraderie. And also, you know what, it's a telepathic connection you guys have when you play. I bet that each one of you know that the other one's doing their job, but you all sink into each other mentally. So you know what Sam's doing, you know what Casey's doing, you guys know what each others are doing, and it just all kind of blends into your mind. I think I don't know what I was trying to say. But
we hear you loud and clear, and it's exactly kind of how it is when you get in a room and with like-minded individuals that want the same result. You all kind of just connect, and it just kind of goes from there. And when you understand music, just from a general standpoint, it's kind of easy to like lead each other in and out of each part.
You got a good writing formula too.
Yeah, it's stick to the basics. Less is more kind of mentality with the music.
Well, writing. It should be that way. I mean, it should be that way. It used to be that way. It should be that way. And now it's more is more. More and more and more is better. And that's not necessarily true. And I think by listening to your songs, and listen to this, listeners, by listening to your songs, you really show that fact that doesn't have to be more and more. Mm-hmm. And that's the great thing. I mean, about your music, it's not overproduced, it's not oversynthesized or processed to the point where you take away from the emotion and the energy from that song. So thumbs up for that, guys. Thumbs up for that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just think the music loses authenticity when you start to really overprocess and overproduce, and we definitely have add some elements like synth and stuff here and there, and for filler, to bring the songs up. But the less is more thing is collectively as a band, you don't have to have every instrument going hard the whole time. You kind of want to just bring in little subtleties here and there. Obviously have your rhythm section, but then like the lead guitar and stuff like that doesn't have to be continuing to shred the whole time. Balance it out with little harmonics and harmonies and octaves and stuff like that.
Find a good melody with it too, and run that.
Create a conversation instrument.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most definitely. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't put effects and certain things in your music. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that some bands will over process, over effect. All right, guys, here we go. So what role does social media play in playing your music and connecting with you and your fans?
Huge. It's a big one. It's our biggest platform. Social media is the biggest platform. We do a lot of marketing, boosting, a lot of ad campaigns just to get our name out there, because being an underdog like we are, we're just kind of a small town. We're just small town guys. We all have day jobs. We all work, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, Monday through Friday, maybe Saturday. So we don't have the means to sit and promote all day and go around and put up flyers and call radio stations and find, you know what I mean? We have a publicist and he does a great job. But at the end of the day, it's more, getting any avenue we can take to promote, we try to pursue, even if it's like we've been reaching out to management companies now. But social media is the biggest because we can market by running ads, spending money where it's necessary to get and the great thing about that is you can target now. You can do all this targeting by selecting bands you're similar to that other people follow, and it'll target their followers, through that platform, targeting people that are into music and all that kind of stuff. And just continuing to boost posts when we post good content. The great thing about social media is that it gives you the opportunity to say, yeah, we want to spend money on this by reaching 100,000 people. We can run campaigns for a day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and we can do monthly campaigns. So that's been our biggest predecessor in building a following, getting our name out there is social media. It's huge.
Impossible without it.
It would be impossible. With what we do in this day and age, if we didn't have social media, I don't know what we would do. The music industry is so oversaturated. It would be tough to get in with anyone. I think we've been fortunate the last 2 years we've existed to have a lot of really neat opportunities presented to us through some labels. But social media has been huge. We're like I said, we're grabbing listeners from all over the country, all over the world. So when they see our content, it's up to them to decide. We get some negativity here and there. People are like, oh, this, that, and the other. They'll say bad things if they don't like it. There's just those people. But 95% of the people we get when we market are genuine, nice people that seem to receive the product well. So
well, that's good. And you're right. It's back in the day. Okay, you had to play. You had to be on the road. You had to be in the clubs. But also back in the day, there was the underground radio stations, and there was the college stations that played the independent artists, and that's how the independent artists got out back in the day. And some of the local shows would have usually Sunday nights, the local talent or new talent. And that was it, guys. Okay. If you didn't get out there and you be on the road and getting your following, then there was no other outlets. So, you guys are lucky that we have the platforms that we do have, and you're obviously taking advantage of that and getting it out as much as you can. And, I just did an interview with an artist that got signed, and basically the company gave him like an open contract, like do what you want. I mean, this guy's fucking awesome, and he's crazy as shit, but do what you want. We love it. This is what we came to you for. Okay, because you're unique, you're a fucking crazy man. Your songs are fucking crazy. They're controversial, and we love it. And very rare do you find a label that gives you that creativity to say, be yourself, sing what you want, whatever you want to sing about, look like you want to look, whatever the case is. We're 100% behind you. And it was all based on social media, getting out there. So we're going to go into a great song by Entundra, which is Falling Down.
Everything I say is your own escape when I have nothing left to name. 'Cause I'm a doormat to your desires. All the bad things you say will soon transpire into nothing but toxic energy. And it's all I have left in me. Draw me like a bad habit. I get your animosity. Where were you when I started falling down? I'm falling down. Who were you when I started falling down? I'm falling
Great song, guys.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
So tell me a little bit about that song.
Well, that song, man, it kind of, I feel like it's a firsthand experience of living with my ex-wife, and I'm not going to say names. But,
Well, she already knows it now, Topher, so it don't matter. It's your first ex-wife. So unless you got like a dozen first ex-wives, you pretty much narrowed it down, dude.
Yeah, it's out of the bags. Fair. Oops. My bad. No, but that's just, in general, just living with someone who they're just constantly like gaslighting and contradicting you and just treating you like trash, and you're falling apart at the seams from the inside out, and no matter what you do to try to be there for that person, they kind of continue they're just not present emotionally or whatever it may be. And they just take and take and take, manipulating and twisting words around, you know what I mean? Kind of like the song says, it's like, where were you? Like, I'm falling apart here, falling down. Like, what's going to happen? What are you going to do? You're out running around doing your thing, and the expectations, of them relationships are insane. They'll beat you down and beat you down and beat you down, and until there's nothing left, all the while they're out having all the fun and nothing, and then they think that nothing is wrong with them, and that's kind of what that song is about. So,
well, it's never wrong with them, Topher. It's always wrong with you. So, and it's good. What are you laughing about, Casey? That's true, don't you, over there? I see you just falling off the chair. You're just laughing.
No comment.
Okay. All right. But, sometimes the really shitty times of our life can make some of the best songs and bring out the emotions for that song. And it always doesn't have to be about, your ex or any girl. Sometimes it can just be about life in general that beats you down and
absolutely.
It's just like, fuck, I'm done. I'm just done. And it's really inspiring to know that people can take that emotion and trauma and learn from it and then turn it into something good. Because again, Topher, if you have to look at it this way, if that didn't happen to you, which is shitty, don't get me wrong, then that song would have never been born.
Fair. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. That can be said with everything we do.
Yep.
So artistically, it wouldn't be, if it wasn't for the things we've gone through, we wouldn't have what we have now.
Or they'd be totally different songs about totally different things that probably didn't mean shit.
I could be writing Big and Part songs, like Weird Al, talking about the size of my male appendage and how much I like hookers,
I listen to that.
Well, you wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be the first guest to talk about dicks. I've already had that experience already. So, again, you guys are on the right track. So, and your music proves it. And again, listeners, you've got to definitely go and check out Entundra after this interview. Not during it, guys. After the interview, go check them out because you'll definitely be surprised and you'll thank the doctor and Tundra for putting out such great music. So speaking of the great music, so what advice can you guys give to the aspiring artists and bands that are just coming out in the music scene, or maybe that have been out there for a little bit, that are beating their heads against a wall, that can help them avoid either issues or give them its advice, which you've already done, that can help them maybe take that extra step up that ladder that they're going to have to climb?
I would say just keep hammering at it, keep working at it. You can't give up. You can't beat yourself down a whole lot. You just got to keep trucking along. And, getting along with your bandmates is a big thing too. You all got to work together and just keep pushing at it. It's really all I got.
That's good though.
I would definitely say, you are who you surround yourself with. I think that's big. There's people that can drag you down pretty quick. And, learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat them. Your mistakes can take you right out of the music industry real fast. I've learned that from experience. So that's the best advice I could give.
That's really good advice, guys. You better be listening out there because this is some phenomenal advice. Sam, what's up? Tell me.
I wish I had advice. I'm looking for some myself. I don't know, man. Just do what you love and do what people you like to hang out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these guys are right. Like Trey said, never, ever, ever give up. Stay humble. Stay true to yourself. And if it's what you want to do, never give up. And never let anyone get in the way of your dream. Like if you want to do it, do it. And if it costs you a relationship, so be it. There's always somebody out there that's going to support what you do, and keep your circle small.
Yes.
Yes. Keep your circle small. Don't just jump into stuff and go for popularity. Do this because you want to do it, because the music makes you feel some type of way. It's why you listen to music, right? Whatever draws you into that reason. Don't chase fame and fortune doing this because you're going to drive yourself mad. Do it for the art. That's what I always say, is do it for the art and just never give up. Really, that's really all it takes is free therapy, free therapy. Really,
don't be scared to be vulnerable with music either.
Absolutely, like open yourself up to the world, and it'll open itself up to you. And don't be afraid of opportunities. Don't be afraid of success. Don't be afraid of criticism, rejection, because you're going to get a lot of that as you go along. And it takes time to find your circle, find your tribe, because they're there. I promise you. It doesn't matter how good or bad your art is. Your tribe is there.
Yes.
You just have to find them. And it's a huge, it's a labyrinth out there, and you just have to navigate through it. But stay humble. Don't be a dick.
Amen.
Don't be a dick. Just be cool, be nice. And like they always say, don't say shit that if, you know what I mean? Like if somebody would say something to you, like what is that? It's old saying.
If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say anything at all.
There it is. Yeah. There it is. That's having a brain party there.
So,
but that's pretty much about it for me as far as what I have to put in on that scenario. I guess it's just.
Well, a couple lessons, listeners. Biggest one is don't be a dick. Okay.
Yes.
You took any note right there.
That's the one, number one.
That's the biggest thing, guys, is lose the ego at the door and don't be a dick.
Ego at the door, absolutely.
Love what you do. Mm-hmm. Love what you do, and you won't give up. If you're supposed to be a part of music, you will be, and you won't give up. You want to give up. You think about giving up, but you don't give up, and you just keep on pursuing. Because
also, sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I forgot before I forget. Don't be a pushover either. Like, don't be a dick, but don't be a pushover. Like, you got to find that balance.
Don't be a dick. Don't be a pussy. Okay, there it is. Don't be a dick. Don't be a pussy. So find that. Hold your ground. But talk. Talk. Don't argue. Just fucking talk. And so that's that's the biggest lessons, guys. Dick, pussy. No, you don't want any of that. So but again, if it
goes in the pussy, right?
Inverted.
Dick goes in the pussy. Pussy comes out of the. Can we talk about that? Yeah. Is that too much for an explosion?
I'm at a loss for words right now. I mean,
it's a vicious circle.
We went from not being one to being one. You know what I'm saying? Like joining them together, guys. The dick and the pussy. Instead of being separate, don't be one or the other. You got to be both. But dick goes into the pussy because they're both dicks and pussy. So
one and the same. You got to be one with the universe. In order to do that, you have to insert the dick into the pussy.
Yeah. Or you just tell them, quit being a bitch. Go buy a box of tampons and let it go at that. So
we had to do that a couple months ago, basically.
Well, you know what, Topher? We're going to get into that, buddy, because me and you talked before this, and shit, dude. I mean, we're definitely going to get into that. So don't worry about that, guys. So give us any upcoming releases, projects ahead for Entundra. What is coming up for you guys? What's on the burner? What's out of the stove? What's getting ready to be released?
Well, I'll take this one. Since I'm more in the know on this with our publicist, we're going to be dropping a full LP, full length record is going to be out soon. We talked about Halloween releasing it that day. I haven't really discussed it with these guys yet, but I'm not sure. Maybe I said it in the chat last night. I don't remember, but our publicist wants to release a single with the record. It'll be on the record, but he wants to release it with the record so that song gets individual attention, because I guess he hadn't had a chance to fully listen to it. And when I listened to it in the pickup last night, it's got really good speakers, and he really got the full frontal of that song. He's like, wait a minute, what? So he hasn't heard it in that form. And he was like, we have to release this as a single. And I'm like, but we're going to do it with the record. Like, this light bulb went off, and it was like this defining moment in both of our lives. And it was pivotal. And we're like, dun, 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 this music plays, and this ambient glow kind of overtakes us. And we're all like, yeah, that's a great idea. So I think that's the plan we came up with. So we got a record coming out. And then we've been talking to a really, really well-known producer to do our next set of songs. Hopefully, if our budget will allow, we're going to be going to a pretty well-renowned guy who's got top 40 charting. His work is featured in some songs on some top 40 singles on like a big commercial radio and stuff like that. So that's going to be exciting. We've been communicating with him. Sam has got we've got a ton of new material that we're excited to share. We got some heavy stuff. Like, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. Like, what we've heard and what's coming and on the record, that's just us warming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're sitting here right now. We got our little stick and our stone, and we're just getting the fire started. You know what I mean? We ain't even fully roaring yet, and it's happening. It's coming. Like, we're sitting here with our stick, and our hands are all blistered, but we're not stopping. That's what we got coming. We got a whole fire. I mean, if you ever saw Vesuvius explode, I mean, that's where we're heading.
That's phenomenal, guys.
Now we're gonna be driving down that sumbitch in a minivan. Okay.
That's fucking
right.
No, that, you know what? And there again, that displays the passion. And I hope the guys out there that are in bands, whether you're at this point or not, listen to these guys. I mean, just listen to how they talk and the passion. And it's like, we're doing this, and this is what's happening. And that's from hard work. That's some really hard work. So, you guys, again, need to be, and I know you are, just be really proud of that fact that you have 4 individuals that share that same dream, same goal, that love music and as much as each other does. And from what I can tell, get along great. I mean, there's always going to be ups and downs in the bands. There's always going to be a little bit of differences and maybe a little argument here or there. But when you band together like brothers, which kind of seems like what I'm picking up, you're not really bandmates. You're basically band brothers, which is even closer. And that's great. I mean, that's, again, it's a rarity. You always have 1 or 2 dicks or pussies in the band that you got to deal with, and you put up with them because probably they're good musicians, but their personalities are that of, my cat shit in the litter box, so, it's hard. It's hard to deal with that. So, I told you, Topher. I told you, Casey. Shit comes out of my mouth. Sometimes I don't even think about it. It just comes out. So,
gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Somebody's funneling up there down in my brain at times, and it just pops out of my mouth. So, forgive me for that. But we're gonna go into My Only Sin from Entundra.
This can't be how it ends.
That's a nice song. I like that. Great job, guys. Great job.
And the stuff that I've been sending you is the updated version. So the version we currently have released is an older version, and then Sam redid the solos on the guitar. We had the song remixed and mastered. So we're really excited about the new version of that one. There's two. So there'll be a studio album version, and then there'll be the single version. And so what you're getting on this one is the studio album version.
Cool.
Same with Dead Like Me. That's a studio album version. That's an updated version. So yeah, those two songs have been remastered, and that's what you got to play. You've got exclusive. So what you're playing right now is the exclusive access to those songs that aren't even released, those remasters that aren't even released yet. So
you hear that, listeners? Dr. Dog here, and Eminem and Magpie. We got exclusive on these guys' songs right now. So listen to them. Listen to them, because it's phenomenal songs, guys. Phenomenal songs. So tell the doctor what's the biggest misconception people have about band life and about being an independent artist.
That we're rich.
That's number one right there.
That's it. Number one.
It's like everybody always assumes you're just in a band and you're rich or something, and it's like,
I figured you would have driven a lot nicer car. No,
Yeah.
this is all I can afford.
Isn't that true? Isn't that true?
Yeah.
That's true. It's no, the biggest misconception is, man, you guys are making a ton of money. You're going to be living in like a big house. You're going to be driving nice cars. You know, if you're, well, I was going to say if you're single, but sometimes it doesn't matter, guys. You're going to be around a lot of women, you know, and if it's your choice, then you're around other things. So yeah, people just assume that shit. And this is one thing that I really want to kind of bring out in the show, that wake up, fucking listeners, because it's not that way. And that's like Peter Pan fairy tale shit. So so tell us, guys, what is it like?
Well, it's basically like waking up and going to work.
Mm-hmm. It's a job.
No, yeah, I mean it's more than just that, but it's starving. I mean, it's literally, we have to get the record done. What do I buy? Groceries or pay the studio for the masters? Well, can't release music if you ain't got it. So I guess I'm living off of fucking coffee, water, and ramen for the next month, because I got to pump out $3,000 for this record. Why? Because that's literally what it takes. You want to do something, then you want to be an artist, invest in yourself and invest in quality. Mm-hmm. And starve, because that's the reality of it. The common misconception is that everybody's lives are peach, cheese, and cream and everything like that. But we literally like spend every last waking dollar we have on guitars and basses and acoustics and microphones and headphones and cords and amplifiers and gas to get to gigs and mixing and mastering and photographers and music videos. I mean, it'll bleed you dry, but as long as you just keep pushing forward, you know, just stay fed, but you got to stay hungry.
Yes.
You're going to be hungry in this industry, because there's a lot of times where you don't get to have that steak dinner, man. You got to sit down and eat a peanut butter sandwich, because, you know, the world needs your art, and the studio needs to be paid, and the publicist needs to be paid, and the man, you know, everyone needs to be paid.
Yep.
And, so that's what it takes, and that's the big misconception.
You got to persevere, and sometimes you got to eat that ramen with a little bit of that cat food in there. You know, give you a little bit of protein with your ramen. But that's the way it is. So it is, and you know, you guys talk about that, because the studio costs start when you walk in, and you got to have your ass out by the time you're done. It's not done, 8 hours, we're done. Now let's break down. It's break down, get your ass out here in 8 hours. So it's hard. We've been down that road, and it's not easy. You spend a lot of money, guys. And the only thing Doctor could say to back that up is choose wisely on what you do first. Make a plan on what you're going to do second, third, fourth, as far as how you're going to move yourself, how you're going to, record. Are you going to use it in marketing? Are you going to use it in this? Split it up, do whatever you have to do. But the most important thing is put out the music first, get the good music. Then you can start everything else.
Absolutely. Yep. Invest in your sound first. Invest in your sound first, your sound quality. You want that to be there, because if it's not there, you're not going to, we have a lot of really cool, well, a couple of really cool bands that I like around our area. But, you know, they would be a lot bigger and they'd be doing a lot better if they just hired producers and paid for good mixing and mastering and stopped doing it themselves, because they are shooting themselves in the foot when they do that. It's like, you guys are talented, they write good catchy stuff, but the mixes are muddy, and this is why they've been at a standstill for the last couple of years, or they're not getting further at any rate, because they're putting their money in the wrong places, you know. To start. So that's
if they're mixing themselves and stuff, then it sounds like whoever's mixing it thinks that it sounds good, and that's why they're putting it out. And that's the biggest mistake, you know, because whoever's engineering and mixing it and then putting it out to be mastered, they have to hear it. They have to make it sound the best that it can be. And if it's muddy or whatever, then that all falls on the engineer, I believe. It's not on the band, unless it's intended. Okay, this is the way I want it to be. I want my vocals buried, or I want, you know, my leads to be way, way out there, or whatever the case is. But other than that, it's the engineer's job. And again, you know, spend your money wisely and listen to what these guys are saying, because it's definitely a great roadmap to start off with. And then they're giving you advice to avoid and what to do, which, again, guys, your guys are getting like an education for free from individuals that have been out there so long and that know what's going on. So, you know, speaking of that, being out there for so long and knowing what's going on, tell us about the sacrifices, the hardships, the unjust bullshit in the music industry that goes hand in hand, you know, that bands have to deal with.
I actually got to think on that one just a little bit.
Sacrifice, man. Sacrifice is one of the hardest things when it comes. I mean, you know, a lot of us have kids, wife, you know, shit like that. And you got to balance that out with your music, you know, because you want to keep both of them in your life at the end of the day. And
most definitely.
You got to sacrifice with yourself too. Sometimes you got to dig deep and find you know, what's important. You know what I mean? And I don't know, that's tough. That's a balance. It's like a teeter-totter, you know?
Well, it is, and especially when you have family, okay, yeah. And you have children, and you have a wife or a spouse, or it is hard because you want to spend time with them, because, you know, your kids are only going to be that age for so long, and they start growing up, and you want to spend time with your other, but then again, you have that itch in you to get to playing, to get with the band, to get to practicing, to get recording. And it's hard because you're fighting a feeling like, I want to be here, enjoy it with my family, but at times you're thinking, fuck, you know, be in the studio, or, you know, what about this? And so your mind's kind of torn different ways. You're with the family enjoying it, but your mind actually is flicking off of thinking about the song that you guys are doing, or the song you guys just came up with or working on. And it's hard, guys. And for musicians that really are into the music, that can be hard. That can be really hard. And like Topher said, you guys all have jobs. You know what? 99.9% of the guys that I interview have jobs. Okay. Why? Because like Topher said, you're not going to get rich. And you might get lucky and you might hook up with somebody. But I don't know if rich will ever be in that vocabulary. You might be doing really great, but, you know, who knows? We hope that. All musicians hope that they get to that point, but I think they hope, but they don't bank on it. And you know, like you guys have said, don't go after fame. Don't go after the big bucks. Just put out the good music. And that's what matters. So, you know, speaking of the good music, we got one dropping now from Entundra, She.
She feels the heat rise from the blacktop. She walks for miles, she travels alone. Her hunger feeds her intuition, searching for lost souls to call her own. Yeah! Why you always running away? She's gonna catch you anyway, no matter where you go, she'll find you in a matter of time. Just like go, yeah, she'll ease your weary mind. You can run, you can die, certainly you can't hide. She'll swallow your soul, no need to fight. She roams from town to town, destruction is her game. She wears a dark, evil grin, seduction, she must reign. Her love is lust, thirst for blood, her power remains. That's just the way she goes from the needle to the grave. Why you always running away? She's gonna catch you anyway, no matter where you go, she'll find you in a matter of time. Just like go, yeah, she'll ease your weary mind. You can run, you can die, certainly you can't hide. She'll swallow your soul, no need to fight. Why you always running away? Why you always running away?
I like that one. That's a good song. You know, all your songs are good. So fuck, I'll probably sound off like repetitive, like fucking like a parrot. But they're good songs. You know, they're really good songs. And I mean, I can use awesome, phenomenal, fantastic, but really they're just really good songs, and that's what I look for. So excellent.
That's a fun one to play. That's probably one of my favorite ones to play live. That's in our catalog right now. Yep. That one's a fun song. That one there is got could have a double meaning as well, but it's fun. That one is directly about addiction for me. You know.
Well, you know, unfortunately, I think a lot of us have been down that nasty alley. Mm-hmm. And when you can, you know, find Main Street, get out of that fucking alley, that's a blessing in itself. And then to be able to write about it. But, you know, going back to what you said about, you know, it's about this and about that. And the beautiful thing about music is that people can mold it into their own emotions and put it to their own experiences. And the great thing about your music is that it really can trip the trigger to past feelings and emotions that you had and experiences. And again, guys, I mean, a lot of songs will bring out the emotions you have now, but your songs can evoke that time travel backwards, and kind of I can relate it to a lot of the songs I like from bands that I've listened to from the 70s and 80s, and where it takes you someplace, and that's what your music does, and it reminds me a lot of that in a lot of ways, where it's like it can really transform you and take you someplace else and think about something, and it may not even be what it's really your song is about, but it's the interpretation of the listener. That's all that should matter, right? I mean, they don't have to understand that it was about you and maybe your ex, but maybe they can relate it about them and their ex.
Yes.
It's not, that's the thing. And you guys, the emotion you put in your songs and the reason behind them, I think is what makes them so good. So tell us about when, a time when egos have clashed. Again, egos, not eagles. Egos clashed within the band.
Well, we've had to get rid of a couple people recently because of ego. In the process of finishing up the last stages of recording, we were getting mixes back, and the studio was less than impressed with some of the drum track. Sam is actually our drummer now. He was on guitar previously. We had a different drummer that did some of the work as well on a few songs with us that we recorded. And the studio wasn't impressed with some of his work, and they changed some things. And when they sent it to us, Sam and I were more than excited about the changes. Even though we probably wanted more, at the end of the day, we actually, at this stage, we wanted to reproduce some of the drums on a few of the tracks as entirely, but it's just too late, and we're just going to push it. But the mixes came back, and this individual just went off on the deep end in a group chat about it, and completely negated the fact that the sound quality and it was there, and that the song sounded better as a whole, better than it ever had, because the studio fixed these issues. And that's the great thing about technology and programming, is a lot of the stuff we record, they'll overdub with pre-recorded drums and they layer it, so you get this bigger sounding drum, because it's really hard to get really good drum mixes live when you record live drums in the studio. So they'll build around that with what you record, and the good thing about that is you can cut with the technology and the recording software now. I mean, you can literally just cut out parts of the, like the snare doesn't sound good here, they didn't hit it good here, they don't have a lot of intensity or density when they hit, you know what I mean? And so there was quite a few things that got changed, and this individual didn't like it, and but everyone else thought it was great, and majority rules, and that wasn't good enough, and this person just persisted and went on some tirade, and there was more than that, but that particular incident was probably the straw that broke the camel's back for us, especially with me and Sam, because we dealt with that firsthand. And I called him and I said, let's just get out of this situation, and we'll find a better way around it, because this is too much. Like, we cannot work with this if it's going to continue to be this way. It wasn't getting better, and there was a lot of things that led up to this ego. And one of the comments when we got those mixes was when I talked about he negated the fact that the whole band was still present in the song. This guy made a comment that, wow, it's really sad that the studio took out all of the talent from the songs. This is the ego we're talking about. He took all the talent out of the songs. See, I didn't realize that this individual brought all of the talent to the band with lackluster drum beats. I was really, 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 really unaware that he was the band. I forgot. I completely must have spaced the fact that this guy was like, wow, oh man, he was the band. Jesus, he was carrying us.
Walk right through the door.
And it really, really, like, it's like, dude, like, we, and then he would twist it and spin, oh no, it's all about you, isn't it, Topher? It's all about you. I'm like, no, we just want what's best for the music, and that's why I'm here. why are you getting so toxic and spinning it like that? I'm like, the studio just did what they thought was best, because the studio is not going to mix and master stuff that they don't think is 1 second. Our photographer's here, but she'll be all right. Upstairs with my girlfriend. What was I saying?
Lackluster drum beats,
Sound quality.
Well, he was anyway. It was a lot of.
Yeah, he took all the quality out of the. They took all the quality out of the song.
The studio, yeah, he said the studio took the talent. That's right. The songs, the talent. And I'm like, that rubbed me the wrong way. And like I said, it was sad to hear that. And then like, so that was probably the worst case of ego that I've ever dealt with, that Sam and I probably have ever dealt with. I mean, and then to say that, accuse me of, he literally said, no one's going to want to work with you anymore, Topher, if you keep this up, and I'm like, work with what? The studio said that they didn't want to put their name on this because they didn't like it. It didn't work. The rhythm didn't follow the music. The rhythm of what you were playing wasn't matching the music. And to go into, I mean, if we want to go into depth here, if not, this is a lot of information, but
no, that's good to know. So keep it up.
He completely, just like I said, negated everything that we were doing. And it was sad. It was like, man, like, are you seriously was your head that big? Are you that full of yourself that you're only concerned about what you played? You're not like, he didn't even know the lyrics to the songs. He didn't even know, it's like he didn't even listen to the song. He just listened to exactly what he played. And it wasn't exactly the way he played it. There was some things he was doing, a closed hi-hat that got changed to open hi-hat because it brought no energy. We're not a jazz band. We don't play all that fancy stuff. We it's like Vinnie Paul, man, hit the drums, hit the damn things. This guy right here, not only is a shred factory on the guitar, but he beats the shit out of them drums.
An animal.
Play them like they mean it, And so, yeah, that was a really bad deal for us. And it was a pivotal moment in the band because we had to step away from that. And I got blamed for it all. And I've been the center of a social media tirade, a social media smear campaign since, because it's like this dude, only this one individual. But we've had other situations as well with another guitar player we had with us who was writing better stuff in post-production than he played in during production. And I asked him, why didn't you play that? Well, because that's just, if you can't hum the solos, it's trash. Like, I called him, I essentially said, well, why are you being lazy? And he freaked out. I'm like, you call me lazy? I said, well, you kind of are. I'm like, you can play like that and you're playing like this? And it was me trying to be supportive and constructive criticism. And that's, we've had a few narcissists in the band, and it's like they couldn't handle criticism. Like, you tell me when I'm fucking up. Tell me when it's something I do sucks. I would love to hear it, because I want what's best for the quality as a whole. If I'm doing something that somebody else says, that's not working, then if they think that, then anyone else that's listening, because we are always a listener first. Now, not when you're writing, but like when you're hearing somebody else write, you're a listener before anything else. Just like the studio, when we send them our tracks to mix and master, they have to listen to what we're doing before they can do anything. They can make any judgment call. So if Casey or Trey or Sam, they're listening to what I'm writing and they're like, that's cool, but try this. This is what they're hearing. You want to be open to that. So like, keep your ego at the door. I mean, we all have egos, right? But there's a difference between having a ego on the pride side of things and ego on the I'm a dick side of things.
Yes.
I'm a narcissist. I'm a narcissistic ego and pride ego. Those are two different things. You can be proud and have that ego, and that's okay, because that's usually pretty much down here. Like, I'm proud of this. I'm really excited. Like, I'm proud. I think this is really good. We did this really, like, we share a song, like, this song is a banger because we're proud of it. There's that ego. That is ego, and then there's that, I'm the best at what I do, or I'm the drummer. I don't tell me how to play my drums, or I'm the guitar player. Don't tell me how to play my guitar. There's that ego. And then, don't be that ego. And
Dick.
don't be a dick. That goes back to don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
And don't let people walk all over you. Like I took a verbal beating for 2 years, and there was so much more that I could go on about this individual behind the scenes. And I'm not going to name names, obviously, because that'll get me into trouble. But
I was really hoping you would, because this guy's a real dick. I mean, he's like a big dick. He's like one of those big dildo dicks. So, I mean, he really, I mean, he's been smearing you. We talked about this, Topher, on our pre-call. And I told you, dude, this is, I don't like doing shit like that. I don't think it's right. But it gets to a point where if you want to keep pursuing this shit and keep putting it out there, which is a bunch of lies and crap, then you know what? So if you want to name names, that's up to you, dude. If you don't want to name names,
I wouldn't. I would rather not. I don't want to. I don't play that game. I don't even want to. I'm like, this show is awesome, and I'm glad that we get to dive deep into the good, bad, and the ugly. But at the same time, we like to keep things a little more like, let's just, we'll share the nitty and gritty and the dirt without slandering anyone in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to be part of any scandal and stuff like that. So just out of respect for myself, and even what bit of respect I have for that individual, I don't want to drop names.
That's a perfect answer, dude.
I don't want to stoop to that level. No. But it was just a toxic situation, and that obviously, if that person, they're probably going to watch this and they're going to be like, hey, yeah, whatever, fuck you. They're going to probably try on more shit. But the truth of the matter is if I was such a dick, then I think these guys wouldn't be sitting here with me today.
It's like you all said. It's about getting along. It's about listening to criticism.
Yeah.
If it's presented the right way, then that's one thing. If it's not, then that's a totally different thing. You're talking about stepping on somebody's ego. When you're asking them to play something different or do it a different way, you present it the right way to them, and I think a lot of musicians do get offended on that.
It can be hard. I mean, when you put your heart and soul into something and somebody doesn't like it, and you're like, oh shit. But at the end of the day, it's music. The possibilities are infinite in what we do. So it's like, don't ever get married to an idea. And if the studio, we want the best quality for our music. So if the studio doesn't like something, they have to put their stamp of approval on it before they'll even give it back to us. If they don't like it,
they won't do it.
Because the argument was, well, I'm not paying them. We're paying them to do a job for us. We're paying them to make us sound the best we can and give us the best mixes. And that means making changes in post. Well, if they like things, then we should be open to it because it's for the best.
Well, like you said, they're not going to put their name on a project that sucks.
Exactly.
Because it's a reflection on them.
Absolutely.
Some studios can say, hey, I don't care. Your song sucks. Here it is, the reflection on you. But ultimately, I think it falls back on the studio to say, hey, especially if you're sending it to them to be mixed and mastered, you want them to give you the best sound with their knowledge and expertise that you can get. And that's why you send it to them. Because if not, you'd be doing it yourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we trust them. And any decision that I made wasn't about me. It was about what the studio suggested. And I'm going to go with what they say because he's been doing it longer. And this guy, he's much bigger than we may ever be. In what he does, and I respect the hell out of All Poetic Audio. That's who we mix and master. Jeremy Schaefer. I will name drop that because if you're listening, I'll plug him because he's a very reasonably priced, and he does a phenomenal job. He has mixed and mastered everything that we've done except a couple songs we did do because Jeremy couldn't. Red Dot Recordings, a healthy alternative. If I'm allowed to plug, but Jeremy Schaefer of Earth Groans runs and mix and master. He's the head audio engineer at All Poetic, his studio, and I would highly recommend him if you're an artist and you don't have $2,500 a song to drop. Jeremy will work with you on a cheaper. He is not $2,500 a song. I'm not going to say what his rate is. That's not my place to do that because he might be different for everybody, but he's going to give you the best bang for your buck if you can't afford a big name producer and recording studio. He's going to do you right. He's going to give you, he's great to work with. So just let him do his job and don't argue with him, just like anyone else. Just let him do, because he's doing it because he has a passion for it, and he wants you to be at your best, and he wants you to sound your best. And he's honest. He's a Christian guy. He's an honest guy, and he's going to tell you if it doesn't work. And he was that way with me, and I had to sugarcoat it for one of our previous members. I always had to tiptoe around the tulips with this guy and walk on eggshells. And I had to be very careful with this former member, because if I didn't say something, he'd go, "Oh, that hurts my feelings." He would manipulate and say, "Oh, my feelings." I'm like, I have feelings too, but at the same time, we have a business to run, because we are a growing band and we are getting out there. So we do have to treat it like a business. We're not going to give people like you're not going to sell somebody a box of wine glasses and half of them are broken, right?
Right.
Do that. When we're selling you something, we want it to be full, and we want everything to be intact, and we want the quality to be there, right? So that's what we're selling. But yeah, I mean, ego is huge, and you're going to deal with that in the production world too. Like, these producers and sound engineers do have egos as well, but a lot of times, if they're healthy about it, they're usually doing it for the right reasons. And don't let them say, "Oh, this song sucks," beat you down. They might make you write a new one in studio. That's fine. Do it. You've got the talent, just do it. But yeah, I mean, that being said,
well, listen to them. That's it. That's the key. Don't
listen to other people. Yeah. Listen to the studio. Listen to the people that you're working with, that you hire, because they, like I said, if you're paying them, they're not, hopefully they're not, their intentions are pure. And that's another thing. Be careful who you pay to do stuff with and feel everybody out, but also do your research too. Always do your research when it comes to PR, like PR companies that want to promote you, promotional companies, recording studios, producers. Just do your research. Look up their work. Videographers, photographers. Always do the legwork before you hire too.
Yes.
So you don't run into snags. But yeah, as far as egos go, that's leading up to this conversation now. It's been a trial and error kind of thing, that we've had. So,
well, again, guys out there listening, and especially the new bands and the bands that are going into the music scene, you're going to have the ups and downs. You're going to have the individuals in your band that maybe aren't the best fit, but just like Entundra said, that they're out there, like Topher said, your tribe's out there. You got to find your tribe. And if something's not right, dude, don't keep your mouth shut. I mean, if you have to axe it and then find somebody else, then you do it, if it's going to make your sound better. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody says. The most important thing is to put out the best song that can be put out, plain and simple. If it has to be changed, it has to be changed. If it has to be modified, it has to be modified. But end of the day, just like you said, the end result is the most important thing, and that's to have the best song that can be put out.
Yeah, absolutely. Quality,
quantity. If it's not there, dude, then why put it out? And and a lot of bands do that nowadays, dude. It's a revolving door for them. They just want to crank out as much and as much and as much as they can. And they're not thinking about the quality of it. They're not thinking about, like I always say, you can put out 10 songs, and if you put them out right back to back, one of those songs is going to probably be a killer ass song. And what you've done is you've buried it now with 9 other songs.
Yeah.
Be smart about how you release it. The more songs you release isn't always the best thing to do to get you out there. If you got one great, phenomenal song that you put out, that'll last for a while.
Yeah, and the thing nowadays too is we did an album, and we're probably going to continue to do albums, but not a lot of people are doing albums. Everyone's doing EPs and singles now. But the thing about it too is the singles. We've been releasing singles as we build up to the album and work on music, but we're also feeling up because of how diverse our music is.
Mm-hmm.
It's eclectic and diverse, and all these things. Like, one song doesn't sound like the next song. Like, we almost, each song is its own genre. I mean, yes. we even vocalize differently within each song. And so you're getting like a different vibe there. and feeling out our listener base, our demographic is like who receives these songs and which songs get the most streams. So it kind of helps you build your brand, like the style you do, like it allows you to open that door. We're like, all right, we got some hard rock songs, we got some metal songs, we got some alternative rock songs, we got some indie rock songs. We got just a group of different varieties, and we're feeling out the fan base and the demographics, so we know which way we should really lean. When we're approaching our followers, we're going to stay true to our core. We're going to do the heavy stuff. We're going to do the rock stuff, but how we release it and how we produce is we're kind of gauging that as we watch these songs kind of grow and blossom and where they're getting shared and who's listening to them. So that's a great thing about technology nowadays is we have that ability to keep a close eye on our tracks in that regard. But yeah, quality is important, and we can't stress that enough.
You heard it, guys. Make quality music, not just music. Make quality music. So, speaking of the music and the music industry and everything bands go through, tell us about an experience that really shows, okay? And this goes for all you guys, because I know you've been in other bands. Doesn't have to be necessarily with Entundra, but give us some insight on the raw, the gritty, the shitty, the ugly side of band life, other than putting up with dicks or pussies. What's the other parts of it that you guys have each seen in individual bands or even together?
I would say probably one of the bands I was in, there was a lot of, it turned into a point of like jealousy kind of was in this one member, just himself. And his relationship with his girlfriend at the time wasn't that good either. But ultimately what it came down to was his own thoughts kind of destroying himself, and it ultimately ended the band, which, things like that happen. And really, you just got to pick your head back up and be like, all right, well, what's my next step? What can I do from here on out to keep pursuing this and to grow something out of it?
No, I agree.
I'd say you gotta keep professionalism. People getting intoxicated, playing live shows, stuff like that. That can not only tear a band apart within itself, but it can ruin your reputation pretty quick within your community. With fellow bands or fans. So
yes,
that's what I was going to say too. Is getting drunk while playing. That's always an issue. I mean, I've gotten too drunk to play a couple times too, but I try not to let it ruin anything. But I don't know. It's hard to keep an eye on. You're trying to have fun. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you gotta be professional about it to an extent.
Yeah, communication's key too. So like some of the worst things I've seen is, like we had members, one member in particular, the one I was talking about earlier, like somehow got it in his head that we weren't playing a show. So he didn't show up for sound check. Well, he barely showed up. We barely got him to show up for sound check. I mean, it was just a night. He showed up with an attitude, and this was frequent. And then he did this at a few shows. One in particular, we were playing a benefit show, and we were trying to raise money for a family in Ukraine. During when Russia invaded Ukraine, one of our previous members' brothers was in school with a foreign exchange student from Ukraine, and we decided to his brother put on this show to raise money for this family. And one of my members, one of our members, excuse me for that, one of our members wanted to sell merch and keep the profit. And I said, absolutely not. I mean, we're not going to sell our t-shirts and not donate the money. We're at a benefit. I mean, what are we doing here? Like, you want to make money off the pain and suffering of another family? That's pretty gross to me. So we ultimately didn't bring merch to sell because that was an argument. I'm like, we're just not going to sell merch. And we're going to, we're donating our time. We're donating, and this is what one of the biggest core values of this foundations of this group is giving back to the community. And from my perspective is being there for the people as much as we can. If they choose to invest in us, that choice is entirely up to them, and we're welcome to it. If they want to help us, they're more than welcome to purchase merch and stuff like that in the right setting. But if we're playing a benefit show, we're playing a benefit show to raise money for that cause, and anything made is going to go to that cause. And we're not going to deal with anyone being an asshole about it in the process. Any members, like, you're not going to come here and, that just doesn't sit well with me. Or not wanting to play benefit shows to raise money for homeless veterans. That's another one I've seen members freak out about. Oh, I don't support the military. Well, it's like, I'm sorry, I do. And I think it's a good cause. We should be like, being in a band. Not only, it's much more than just being an artist. It's community too. Like, you want to share your art with the community, but the community isn't going to receive you if you're an asshole, right? But you shouldn't share your art for the notoriety of the community either. So you share your art, but also use the platform you've created to help the community is kind of what I'm getting at. Use that platform to help the community be, not just the brotherhood of the band, but the brotherhood of humanity, like the camaraderie of coming together to help each other. You're sharing your art while you're doing good things for people. And it's just, and to me, that's almost greater than playing in front of 10,000 people, unless that was a benefit too, right? Because you're just, all these people are coming together for a good cause, and you're sharing the things that you've put your heart and soul into in a moment of beauty. There's beauty in that, where you get to share, just sharing everything and giving forth, like taking your art and like using it as a platform to do good, even if the songs aren't positive, even if they're heartbreaking songs and they're sad and depressing, but use that tool to do good things and share it with the world. I mean, there's some really terrible people in the music industry that just want to make money and get rich and famous. And those are people I don't want to work with. Mm-hmm. I don't want to work with people who want to exploit. I want to work with people who want to do good and help humanity. I want to work with people that want to be charitable and that's where I'm at. I want to do people that want to make music for the sake of good old fashioned rock and roll.
Yes, most definitely. And
there are ulterior motives that I see in this industry behind the scenes, as we talk about the nitty gritty, are disgusting. Between the venues, the promoters, all kind. I've seen a lot of nasty crap, but other bands saying and doing shady shit. It's just. Well, I think we've had our most turmoil within the group, though, that we've seen firsthand. Is we've had a couple of really toxic members come through the group, and so just, you want to be on your lookout for that those behaviors. If people are saying things and doing another, if actions aren't meeting words, walk away from those people.
Yeah, because actions speak louder than the words.
Absolutely.
So, and a lot of times
manipulate you just because they want a seat at the table doesn't mean they deserve one.
No, and it's like, I was gonna say, it's almost like a job interview where somebody can come in and say whatever it is that they think you want to hear, and put on a persona of somebody that they think you want to see, but then when they get hired, they become the true person that they really are. Yeah. And that comes out real quick. And sometimes bands listen to this. It's late. It's too late. You guys have hired them. You brought them in. They're part of your band. But if you start seeing that, like Topher said, that toxic behavior, things just start adding up. They don't want to come to practice. When they do, they've got a shitty mood. They're always, bitching about changing this or changing that. If they just can't collaborate and get along, then the rest of the band needs to get together and say, listen, do we put up with it or do we go on and find somebody else that's more like us and that believes what we do? So at least that's what I think. I mean, Too many people hold on to that toxic person, either because they don't think they can find somebody quick enough, or maybe find somebody to replace them, or whatever the case is, but they're held on way too long. And I think they need to get booted out quicker than a lot of them do.
Yeah. And I think from my standpoint too, is find people that are willing to invest, even if it ain't financially. If people are members come in and they want to help financially, that's great. Not every member, has that luxury to help out. So, you should be open to that. Like, not everybody makes as much as the next guy. So be open to that. Like, if these guys are talented, they're worth it. Even if they can't help flip the bill on things, they're worth it. But if there's members that come in that want to invest, give them that option too. But make sure that they're investing not for control, to control everything, but for the sake of the quality and boosting the product.
Well, it's their music. They're boosting the quality of their band, and if they don't invest in it, then that's a different story. But like you said, some can, some can't. And I know for us, I know, sometimes you have to fit the bill yourself. Why? Mm-hmm. Because you believe in it. Why? That's because you believe in your band. Why? Because you believe in your music. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's worth it. It's like, well, I know Tom, Dick, and Harry can't, give me money to do this, but you know what? I'm going to come up with the money because I believe in it with all my heart. And I know if these guys could, they would, but Tom, Dick, and Harry can't, and that's okay because I will. And it benefits the whole band. And I don't think it should be, well, I paid for everything. I did all this. No, you did it for the band. And if you look at it that way, you suck. Okay. Sometimes you feel that way when you're putting the bill out and you're paying for every single thing and nobody wants to offer or they don't bother to offer to help you out, and you're putting out thousands and thousands of dollars. And it's just like, fuck, dude, you could offer at least $50 or something, but some don't even think about doing it. And that's the crime is that, don't just put everything on one person if you can help them out. If you can't, then that's a different story. But if you've got the resources to help that individual out and your bandmates out, then do it. Don't be a dick and just say, well, let Topher or, the doctor or John take care of all the fucking, finances of the thing.
That's one of the biggest problems we've had in this group is we've had members come in and then they want it, they're like, yeah, we've had members say, oh, it's all going to be equal shares. And then they do it and nothing gets done. Then they put forth a little bit of money, but then they bitch and complain because other things had to be paid for. And then, well, I'm not paying for that, or I'm not paying for that. And if you pay for that, that's on you. That's on you. That's on you. And they just grew increasingly toxic. And then there was no appreciation. There's disrespect. Like, I'm over here starving while this guy, and then this guy's yelling at me while I'm forking out thousands of dollars, and I'm getting yelled at because I rent a house and he's got a house and a Corvette and a wife and kids. It's a piece of shit Corvette, by the way. And he's like, oh, I've got a house and a wife and kid. What do you have, Topher? What do you have? It's like, well, I have nice shit too. I got a nice Harley, but I've got a nice car, but I don't sit and throw that in your face. I work hard for that. But you agreed you were going to help pay for this. Now you don't want to help pay for stuff because I didn't bring it up right away. Well, marketing is important. You don't want to help pay for marketing. And then you spit in my face when I bring it up. And it's like, well, why do you got to resort to telling me what you have? I know what you have. I've been to your house. I see it, but I don't sit and hold shit over your head. I just ask and say, hey, if you guys want to help more. Well, nope, you didn't ask us first, so that's on you. Well, that's fine. We're doing what we can to invest in the band and getting our name out there. And that's what you guys want, right? Because we had one member, all he talked about was, oh, I can't wait to make $3 million so I can retire and blah, blah, blah. And I scratched my head. I'm like, $3 million? Who the fuck's making $3 million? $3 million, like we would have to make like $12 million to get equal shares at $3 million a piece. Like, we're lucky if we've made $1,000 in returns. So in the last couple of years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money is no concern of mine, but yes, it takes money, but we're getting somewhere because the money's being invested. So that being said, it's like, to me, I'm not going to freak out if we got really talented guys and they can't afford to help flip the bill, as long as they're not being dicks about it, like, oh, that's on you, fuck you, I'm just over here, dealt with that. Yeah.
But a band needs to remember that it's more about just a studio. It's more about, this or that. There's a whole ball, like you said, that costs money. That's a financial drain. And if you put one person in charge and they're doing everything, then you keep your mouth shut. If you don't like what I'm doing or how I'm spending my money or how we're doing things, then speak up or you do it. but don't criticize me after I do it for the sake of the band. And I'm not doing it for myself individually. I'm doing it for everybody in the band.
Yeah, and that's
the thing.
It always got put like, oh, it's all about you. But no, it's not about me. Because if it was about me, I wouldn't be investing in this much time and money and effort into it. And I'm not going to say these other guys never helped. They did here and there, but it was minimal. And it was always an argument, if they had to, or it was always griping, oh, I can't. And then I would say, well, hey, I'll flip the bill if you want. You can pay me back later in installments if you want, or I'll just cover it. No problem. We'll talk about it. But it just, there was like some sort of resentment that kept building up. And I try to be as healthy towards everyone as I can be, until I just get beat down, because of the negativity and the lack of appreciation that I dealt with personally in music and the music industry in general, just working with people, not just in this band, but overall too. And it's just like, well, there has to be agreements and going into things like, hey, what can you afford? Do you want, then later on, if they decide like, hey, yeah, I'd like to throw some money and invest, be open to it. And, you know what I mean? And everyone should have a controlling interest in what we do. That's part of the project. And
well, it is. The band should be 4 guys, 25% apiece, invested.
Mm-hmm.
I never personally have thought about the money aspect of it or who owns the rights to this or that, because the way I look at it is when a song comes into the band and you practice it and parts are put in or words are changed or whatever the case may be, then it's the property of the band. And without the band, the song wouldn't end up like it was. So I don't give a shit who wrote the song. I don't give a shit who sings the song, as long as it's the best that we could do. But the point is that without the drums, without the bass, without the other guitar, and whatever other instruments are put into that song, unless you give them sheet music and they follow it exactly, then the band has collaborated and produced that song, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Everyone has had a hand in writing, and everyone that's been a part of this project has had a hand in writing here and there. But collectively, the band, as the brand itself, has the rights to the music. And when I've invested tons of money in it, so I'm going to go where the music goes. But honestly, there's, at this point, with everyone we've worked with, I think Sam, if I had to walk away, I would hand over all my rights. Sam is the only one that I've worked with up until this point, because these guys are pretty new to the lineup, Casey and Trey. But Sam's been with the project for a while, and if I had to walk away, I would, for any reason, I would trust him to do the right thing with it. You know what I mean? And the other members we had, I don't think I had that same trust.
Wow, that's a lot. When you can trust somebody with your music and your creativity and your babies.
I just see the burning passion is the same fire that I have inside me, and I would want that to go to someone who would do something with it, not just like use it to try to exploit it and capitalize, but use it for the sake of the art. Oh, it's always about the art, and that's what I can't stress that enough. That's just what it comes down to. It's the art. It's the feeling we get when we play. The creation, the end result of what we created, and that pride in that moment is irreplaceable.
There's no better feeling than it either.
Yes.
You just can't match it. There's nothing else you can do.
No, you can't. And that's the thing. It's like when you guys get on stage or you guys practice together and play, it's like being plugged in. You get that extra surge of energy and you feel that feelings like, to me, it's like there is no other feeling out there. When you get off the stage after doing a great performance, there is no alcohol or drug or anything else out there that can match the feeling that you feel at that time. It's just phenomenal. And even when you're on stage and in front of the audience, it's electrifying, especially when you guys all connect together. That's the coolest thing, because you're really out there playing and having fun with each other and playing your great music. And at the same time, everybody's enjoying it. So it's just a positive flow of energy that's going around the whole venue at that point. So that's phenomenal. And so you guys, I hope you're again listening to what's been said and think about it, and especially about thinking. Here comes up a great tune by Entundra called Think.
make you special. Oh, you do. Well, you don't own me, I'm through with you. Living rent free in my head. You need to go now, rent is overdue. I don't wanna love you anymore. I don't think I'm what you're looking for. So please collect your things. Don't you think that I deserve better than what you have in store? Used to think you were special. Maybe I was wrong. Don't want you back now, baby. The damage is done. Yeah, I don't care if you're lonely. I won't care when you're gone. You ain't worth the fight now, honey. Get to getting on. I don't wanna love you anymore. I don't think I'm what you're looking for. So please collect your things. Don't you think that I deserve better than what you have in store? I'm not gonna love you anymore, and I don't think you're what I'm looking for. So please collect your things. I'm stronger than you think, and I deserve better. Yeah, I'm not gonna love you anymore, and I don't think you're what I'm looking for. So please collect your things, 'cause I'm stronger than you think, and I deserve better than what you had in store.
Topher, did you or Sam write that song?
Well, I wrote that song, God, was it a year or two ago? No, yeah, I wrote it. Initially it was supposed to be that song was supposed to be so I have a side project called Topher being the 67s. I haven't done anything with it yet. It's supposed to be, I do have a single I'm going to be dropping soon, probably around Christmas time, called Rainy Day, that I have, that I self-produced and did everything on. And it's more like, it sounds kind of like a mix between REM and Tom Petty.
Cool.
So I have a side project that's supposed to be more indie acoustic rock. But some of the songs kind of moved over. So I wrote that song to be that, because it was supposed to be more of like that red dirt country kind of indie rock song. The guys really liked it, so we brought it over and reproduced it and wrote it, and yeah, that ended up being an Entundra song ultimately. So
that's great. That's great.
Yeah, actually was I think it was a year or two ago. Yeah, that song was written, and I wrote it from my perspective of I was watching a friend go through a bad breakup, and he was crushed. He was just 12-year relationship, just out. This person that he was with just turned it. It was just this maniacal, evil person, and just did disgusting things and just destroyed him financially, emotionally, just on every level. And when I got to thinking, I'm like, I've been there before. I've been there. I've been there. So it was hard for me to turn the other cheek watching my friend crumble. When all I could do is just go over there and sit next to him and say, dude, I've been there. Like, I know what you're going through. But I do know one thing about what you're going through. You will get through it, because I got through it. And if I can get through it, you can get through it too. And you will get over it. And it takes time. But when you're in that situation with that person, you really have to stop and think about it. Think about it. Do you love this person? Do you want to continue giving your life to somebody that doesn't deserve you? Or like the lyrics say, I don't want to love you anymore, and I don't think I'm what you're looking for. And then at the end of the song, you say, I'm not going to. So instead of saying, if you think I don't want to love this person, well, then you have to go from that stage to realizing I'm not going to love this person. And maybe they're not what I'm looking for. Because when you're manipulated and you're in a relationship and these people continue to treat you like crap, you always question, well, maybe I'm not what they need, but maybe they're not what you need. So that's the whole transition song. So if you wanted an in-depth on that one, but yeah, it's directly a relationship song, breakup song. So, and then it's obviously overcoming it and kind of escaping the turmoil that is that. So
not only do you write from your own, but you write from the people around you and their experiences that you pick up on and that can relate to.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I translate them into a personal situation I've dealt with myself, and then I'm able to translate that into a song for myself as well. Like, I'm like, wow, I felt that pain, and watching that kind of brought it back. And I was like, okay. And I just sat down one night, and it just came. It just was there. It was
That's cool.
Fluid. And then the band, everybody just brought that, the whole band itself with the guitar, the lead guitar. The whole ball of wax on that tune. Everything just vibed. Even the guy producing got to write some stuff, and he wrote some pretty neat little licks in there that you'll hear between the verse and chorus and stuff like that. That he was vibing on it, and everybody's vibing on it. Yeah,
that's really great. That's really great. All right, guys. Last question. This goes for all four of you guys. Did you ever have a moment you just thought, fuck it, I'm done. I quit. It's just not worth it anymore. That's it. Done.
Yeah, I would say last band that I was in after we broke up, there was about 2 years there where I went through a musical depression. I didn't even touch bass, nothing. It just didn't feel right to do, and I completely shut down for those 2 years. And then, got invited to work with Sam for a little bit, and I think I quit the first time because I just wasn't into it, and he let me come back into it, and I'm really grateful that he let me back in, because I realized, nope, this is what I need to do. It's exactly what I need to release everything and keep going forward. So fall back in love with it.
So how did you feel, though? You said you just didn't have any interest. You just didn't want to play the bass.
Yeah, every time I tried to pick it up, it just something was missing. Felt like I didn't have the touch like I used to anymore, and stuff like that.
Well, there are moments out there that definitely make you feel that way. It's just like, fuck, and then, and like you said, you don't even want to look at it. You don't even want to touch it. You don't even want to play it.
Yeah.
But once you come back to it, you see what you've been missing, the joy and the love and the energy that you get from that instrument. And whether you're playing with guys or not, I sit on my kit and I get off of it after I practice, and it's just like, man, I'm beaming. There's nobody around me. I'm just beaming myself because I love playing, and it's the love of playing that instrument that I love the most. And that's good. And it's sad that musicians have to do that sometimes. Just say, fuck it, I'm done. And then realize, I'm meant to do this. So Casey, tell me, have you ever done it?
I went through a situation with my first serious band, a lot like Topher just explained, where I put all the money into it. I did all the footwork. I, talked to venues, promoters, da 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 da. I was definitely the most passionate one out of the group or whatever. And it got to a point where it seemed like you were carrying like a boat anchor behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're putting everything into it. You're putting your time, your money, your passion. It's an investment. You don't just invest money. You invest your time, your sweat, your blood. And if you don't have people on that same level, it'll fucking drag you down to oblivion, because that's what it did to me. And ultimately, the thing that I built that I love the most, I destroyed it myself for that reason. I just couldn't carry the weight of everybody else anymore. So it's bittersweet at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like you said, Oblivion. We have a song on our record called Beyond Oblivion. That's kind of cool that you brought that up. Synchronicity right there at its finest.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not wrong. And this is the formula we need right here. This is the formula that we worked this hard to get, is these guys with the mentality that's in the group, and this is what we've been waiting for. This is what this brand is needed since inception.
Like you said, Topher, sometimes it takes that length of time. So Sam, tell me
about quitting music. Yeah, that kind of comes with age, I guess. I don't know. To me, it was about a couple years ago. I'm in my 30s now, and it was just kind of one of those moments where it's like, I've always wanted to be a really good guitar player, and I just kind of figured I'd learned it on the way, but as time goes by, you're not getting any further, and it's just kind of at a crossroads where you're like, well, do I sit down and learn it, or do I just give it up? Just accept the fact I'm going to be not good. And then I just at that point, I was decided, yep, I'm going to push my guitar playing, I'm going to push my drumming, I want to push my singing more. Everything I want to be good at, I want to be good at. And I'm at this point now where it's like there's no turning back. Just got to go for it, or I'm just going to die talentless. And that's just not something I can live with.
You probably live in regret too that you didn't do it. Yeah. Opportunity was there, and everything was there, and you just said, nope.
Same thing with the Tundra too. I just given up on that dream of being a big rock star. Well, I'm not saying we are now, but this is kind of the last opportunity for that to actually happen. And it's just, can't say I'm not thankful for anything like this to happen. And Topher to reach out to me and make something like this possible. It's a really cool opportunity. I'd be stupid to let it go. So.
And again, it is easy to just get fed up, and for whatever reasons, there's many reasons you could just say, fuck it, I'm done. I'm just not going to do it anymore. And, but I think, again, the ones with the true talent, the ones that have the true heart, that belong making music, it'll come back. They'll come back to it. And like Sam just said, for some musicians, it's like, it's either do or die. I'm going to do my best. We're going to try to make it work. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. But it could be my last rodeo. Okay, after this, if for some reason it wouldn't work out or doesn't or whatever the case is, I'm done. I'm going to give it one more big hard shot. I'm going to put everything into it, and then because a lot of bands fail not because of themselves, but because of the industry or because of being taken advantage of. Or I was talking to a guest that talked about distributor contracts with record labels, how they just break bands and musicians down, and they end up just quitting after dealing with stuff like that because it's just a heartbreak, and so there's a lot of reasons you can give up, but it's obvious all four of you had your reasons. You could have done that a long time ago and just said, forget it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not paying any more money out. I'm not carrying any more guys. I'm just done. And you haven't, because you have that belief. And Topher, you're the engine, and you're pulling these guys, and you guys are just going down the track, and they're pushing right behind you. And that's the coolest thing, is that you're not dragging them or pulling them, but they're pushing right behind you. And that's the cool thing is you have that support.
If it wasn't for Sam, I can't say that I'd still be doing this. He's the only positive reinforcement I've had from a music standpoint, besides fans and close friends that support what we do. But within the group, working with the turmoil that's ensued upon us over the last 6 months, if it wasn't for Sam's mentality and his positivity and his drive and his wanting to do this as much as I did, and I saw what I see in Sam is what I saw in myself when I first started doing this, and he still has that fire, and that reignited my fire and wanted me to push, and that led us to Casey and Trey, and those guys wanted it too, and there's just this massive explosion right now going on with the level of motivation and drive to continue pushing this brand further with the platform that we've created. So I'm thankful for the guys sitting behind me and taking this ride and this journey with me. And I'm thankful for the opportunities that we've had thus far. Because like I said, especially with Sam, that guy right there, man, he's a grinder, takes care of his family. He's humble as shit, doesn't give anybody no grief. He's kind of our comedic relief too. The guy is funny as hell to boot. So keeps the spirit alive. He's the morale booster. Just because just the way you approach the mixes, man, they sound great. When you finally get into the studio and hear what you played, and he wasn't bitching and complaining about it the whole way through it. And he had his vices and things he had to say, but he did it respectfully. And like I said, I'm forever grateful in debt to this guy for keeping that fire stoked. So,
well, he believed in it, dude. He believed in your music. He believed in you. If he didn't, then he wouldn't have, and he wouldn't have lighted your fire. And that's the thing, sometimes you have that one member that has to keep, reinforcing to the other members that, hey, you guys are good. We're good. And what are we doing? Why are we giving up? Why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing that? And that's great. I mean, Sam pushing you guys into the aspect of with his energy and his love of your music and what you guys do, that alone can drive you into bringing that fire back up in yourself. Say, yeah, maybe he's right. Yeah.
That's not even a push, though. It's leading by example.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And our publicist, Dave Spar Metal Promotions, if you're a band and you've got good music, reach out to Dave. He may be calling it quits at the end of the year, but if not, we'll see. But either way, Dave Spar has also been a big support for us, helping us get out there. This is how we met you, Dr. Dog, and Magpie. Awesome. Dave has been a huge support. We can't thank Dave enough. I wish he could be here with us right now. He's been a massive support for us keeping if I'm ever having a rough day and I want to call it quits. Before Sam was part of the lineup and everything like that, Dave was my only other option, my only other confidant, or let's just say, someone to kind of lean on to keep me going. And he was always like, you sure? We got to keep going. He believes in us so much, just like Sam and everyone else that's come together thus far too, is that belief, and there's power in that, so we have a great publicist who just supports the hell out of us. And we're also got to give him a shout out, because man, without him too, he's also good at mediating and keeping things going, as well as helping us with logistics and stuff like that with emailing. And so that's another side of the things that we didn't get to, but yeah, Dave is great. And you just have to support each other, be positive. And it's not what you're going through, it's how you get through it. Yes. That really resonates, and that's what matters.
Yes, no, most definitely. And having a promoter like that, again, that's not something that you find very, very easily nowadays. It's more, take your money, I'll promote you, and that's it.
You don't do it for the money. He does not do it for the money. He loves music, and he does it because he believes in the artists that he chooses to work with.
And that's rare, dude. That's really rare. And so let's just kind of hope and send some prayers out there that he doesn't stop at the end of the year, that he keeps on going, because people like that in the industry is very, very rare.
Yeah, he's starving just like the rest of us,
Well, but he's pushing. He's keeping going. Okay,
he's our guy.
He has that fire and that belief that there's a passion. He's doing this. Sometimes the fire's going to die. Sometimes it's put out, but you don't stop until that time. It's that voice that keeps you going on, that you hear in your head, that I have to keep doing that. And here's a last song spinning by Entundra, which is Voices.
These voices in my head, stricken with thoughts of death. Contagious is the mind, sinking with words unsaid. So unpredictable, this disease will only spread. Searching for the cure before I enter dead. I'm breaking down, hold me before I fall. There's no one around, there's no one to answer the call. Wasting my time, thinking of all that's left. Get out of my head, I can't take anymore. But this life's not mine, I'm playing out, I make my bed. Get out of my head, I can't take anymore. I'm breaking down, hold me before I fall. There's no one around, there's no one to answer the call. I'm breaking down, hold me before I fall. There's no one around, there's no one to answer the call. Will I ever be It's alright. The voices keep feeding me. It's alright. These voices keep needing me. It's alright. And I never want to feel this way. I'm crying out inside. I hope I f***ing die. I don't want this anymore. I'm bleeding out inside. I can't take it anymore. I can't feel it anymore. As I'm lying here, I'm bleeding. I'm dying on the floor. I'm breaking down, hold me before I fall. There's no one around, there's no one to answer the call. I'm breaking down, hold me before I fall. There's no one around, there's no one to answer the call. Will I ever be
Cool song, guys. I want to tell you, Topher, everything you've been saying, and even the whole band, I mean, guys, it resonates with such truth, and brings to light so many different things, and focuses on how important it is to have the love of music, to have the passion, to share it with the same guys in your group, and everybody be on the same page. And ultimately, to me, it doesn't matter how things get done, how they get paid for. if the passion is there in the end, it's always worth it, because I never want to end my days saying, what if this would have happened? What if I would have spent the little bit of extra money and done this? I don't want what ifs and regrets because I didn't try something. I'd rather try it and not have it work out, which is a lesson. It's not a failure and it's not a loss. It's a lesson that you learn. That didn't work out. Maybe this will. So just the vibe I've been getting from all four of you guys has just been phenomenal, because again, you don't see that a lot. And that's why you see a lot of artists and musicians, they go off on their own and then they do stuff on their own, because it's like, I'm tired of dealing with fucking people. I'm tired of dealing with band members that don't want to get along, that don't want to do this, that don't want to do that. And I'm constantly fighting, because at the end of the day, it's dragging me down, which I don't need. And so I've been seeing that a little bit more often, and it's great. They putting out great music still. They'll bring in, people to play with them, but they're basically, producing music, bringing in, I don't want to say studio musicians, but great musicians. And so that's what I find. So it's really refreshing, guys. And I hope the listeners out there are when they're watching this and listening to this, really can tell that this band has got their shit together. They know what they're doing. They love what they're doing, and they're going to keep pursuing it. And that's the best thing. So Topher, give us the information on where we can find your music, your videos, and how the listeners can get a hold of you.
Well, we're big Facebook users. We use that more than Instagram or anything else. We're on X, which formerly Twitter. That one we're also on. But any social media platform, X, Facebook, Twitter, you can get a hold of us or find us on there. I don't think we have any other. We did have a TikTok, but I don't know if that's active anymore. I might have to start a new one, but we don't really. TikTok's kind of, I don't know. We have Entundra official YouTube channel that you can find our music videos at. We have an Entundra topic. We're also on YouTube through our distributor, and also Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music, Amazon Prime. You can find us virtually on every single platform. Facebook, if you're doing stories or reels, our music is on Facebook. Snapchat, we're on Snapchat. So if you like one of our songs and you want to share it to your story, you just look us up in the search bar for under music on Snapchat. I mean, we are all over everything. We got all that covered. So, but if you want to message us, if you want to follow us, Facebook is the best bet for now. We're going to try to boost our presence on Instagram and stuff a little bit more as we start producing more content. But yeah, Facebook is where we're most prominent. If you want to catch us, on the real. So
Topher, what was the name of that studio? Did you guys record it?
All Poetic Audio is the one we've been using quite the most common. He's done everything minus a couple songs that we've had remastered. But Jeremy has done all of our work. All Poetic is out of South Dakota.
Great. And your promoter's name?
Dave Spar is our publicist. Yep.
Yeah, your publicist, yes.
Yeah. And we're currently signed to Slip Trick Records as well. Great.
Well, listeners, listen, if you have any questions, if you want to know any more information for the bands out there that are close to Entundra that maybe want to check out the recording studio or the publicist, I know that you can contact Entundra and they can help you out, get in touch with them. It sounds like phenomenal engineer and studio, and it sounds like a phenomenal publicist. So check them out, guys. Entundra has been fantastic. Their music is fantastic. The doctor wants to thank Entundra for joining him today. It's been a blast, guys. I hope you guys have had a great time, as well as I have. And just know, guys, we're gonna keep pushing you guys and promoting you because we love you. Okay, and
we love you guys.
Yeah. That's the thing, is we love you guys, and we're gonna keep pushing that music. And Dr. Dog also wants to put a big thanks out to Dogbone Studio, MM Radio, Magpie Sally, and the doctor's great guru, Tech, Matt Rustin. You guys have a great day. Keep on rocking, and the dog's out.
You too.
Take care.
You too. See you later.
The good, bad, and the ugly with Dr. Dog on The show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life.
To infinity and tastiness with MM Radio.